The story begins with Naofumi traveling in a carriage pulled by Philo. He's thinking about how he ended up in this world as the shield hero, destined to fight against dangerous events called waves that bring destruction to this world. These waves are stopped by guardian beasts. The spirit tortoise, one of these guardians, recently revived, so it will be a while before another wave comes. Naofumi believes these guardians use soul energy obtained from harming people to prevent the waves. They defeated the spirit tortoise, and the next guardian, the phoenix, was supposed to revive. However, the energy they took from the spirit tortoise created a barrier, delaying the phoenix's revival by 3.5 months. Naofumi plans to use this time to make his land safer. He also remembers that when they fought the spirit tortoise, a curse was placed on his party, affecting his, Philo's, and Raffia's abilities. Naofumi and his group make a stop and notice that the army gathered to deal with the spirit tortoise is still there, along with the Phi country's army. Naofumi wonders why Phi's army is present, especially if they didn't come to fight the spirit tortoise. He also can't use a special power called the Liberation Aura since the curse incident. Naofumi realizes that all 4 cardinal heroes must trust each other to become stronger. The scene then shifts to Naofumi finding out that the other cardinal heroes are missing. The queen explains that the 3 cardinal heroes dealt with the wave that happened after Naofumi and his group arrived in this world. However, they might feel responsible for what occurred, which is why they're missing now. With the phoenix about to revive, having even one hero missing is a major concern. The queen asks for Naofumi's help again to protect the land. Naofumi expresses his intent to do so. He also wonders about the queen's plans, as 3 nations east of Fabry are causing trouble for her country. The queen reveals that after the spirit tortoise battle, Phi stationed its forces nearby under the guise of relief efforts. This made the 3 neighboring nations cautious, and they positioned their forces nearby too. She mentions that Melromarc and that nation are allies for now. The scene then shifts to Raffia and the others in the castle, where some people are unhappy to see them. Malty arrives and apologizes to Raffia for their behavior. She explains that their nation used to worship the 3 heroes but now worships all 4. However, some people still dislike the shield hero and the demi-humans. Malty mentions that her mother wants to remove them from their positions, but these men were highly trusted by her father. Raphaelia tells Malty not to worry, and Naofumi asks the queen about the 7-star heroes' whereabouts. The queen explains they should be somewhere out there, but they can't contact most of them, and they're investigating. The only one they know the location of is the staff hero, who is in Melromarc. Philo and the others find out that Malty is preparing to leave for Se, which is close to Naofumi's lands. Philo is happy they can play together again. Malty mentions that R, another hero, is struggling to rule her lands, and she needs Malty's help. She's packing to leave today. The queen's spy, who has contact with Naofumi, works as a mate for Malty. The queen gives Naofumi a piece of the spirit tortoise's body, and he unlocks a new type of shield that can make medicine. The queen informs Naofumi that Philo's sister has gone missing, and was last seen near the northern border. She warns him to be cautious as she may be planning something. Naofumi then visits the weaponsmith and shows him the gear they used in their previous world. He wants it adapted for use in this world, especially since Raffia performed well with it. Naofumi suggests the weaponsmith come to his lands to sell his weapons, offering 30 silvers a month. The weaponsmith says he makes more staying where he is. Naofumi goes around town in his carriage and notices that even though people here may now worship all 4 heroes, their looks towards him haven't changed. Later, he meets the slave trader and notices that the trader has fewer slaves. The trader explains that since Naofumi is trying to bring back the villagers of Lalona village, nobles and merchants bought all the slaves in anticipation of selling them outside the country. Naofumi is curious about how much it would cost to buy back the slaves that were taken from Lalona village. The slave trader tells him the current price is 30 gold coins per person, which Naofumi finds quite high. Instead of just buying a few, he decides to purchase all the remaining slaves and asks the trader for any information he has. The trader suggests that if Naofumi still wants the Lalona village slaves, he should head to Zabel. Naofumi prepares to go to Zabel after returning to his lands. Hill advises him to use a portal instead of the carriage. Malty explains that they can't use the portal to reach a place they've never been to and asks Naofumi to leave the training of the slaves she's taking care of. They set off on their journey, and during this time, Naofumi explores how his new shield works. Upon reaching Zabel, Naofumi notices that this country feels vibrant, and there's even an arena here. They go to the shop recommended by the slave trader and find that it's actually a tavern. Inside, they see someone who looks just like the slave trader, who turns out to be the other trader's uncle. He knows Naofumi is a valued customer and invites him inside. The uncle mentions that while there are many enjoyable places above ground in the country, the real excitement lies beneath the city. He reveals a secret door leading to the city's underground and tells Naofumi that what he's looking for has just arrived. They head to an auction house, where they find a demi-human from Lolona village being auctioned. The slave trader explains that slaves forbidden in Melromarc are sold here. Raffia notices that the demi-human girl is lying about being from Lolona village. Bidders start placing offers, and the girl is eventually sold for a high price of 100 gold coins. The slave trader mentions that this outcome is a result of Naofumi's ban on the slave trade from Lolona village. He adds that it doesn't matter where the demi-humans are from. The Lolona brand created by the shield hero holds strong influence. The slave trader is disappointed that things didn't work out for Naofumi today, but notes that he has solid information about a demi-human from Lolona village being in the city. He wonders about Naofumi's current financial situation and suggests that he shouldn't have spent all his money buying slaves in Melromarc. Naofumi mentions that the slave trader brought him here, so he must have a way for him to earn money. The slave trader then mentions the arena above ground they saw earlier. He explains that while the daytime fights are fair, the underground arena is a different story, where people do whatever it takes to win. The potential earnings there are also much higher. Naofumi can either participate in the fights himself or bet on a dark horse. The scene shifts to Naofumi in the underground arena. He buys a drink and watches the ongoing fights. Right now, there's a battle between an elephant and a panda. A girl approaches Naofumi, noting that it's her first time seeing him here. She believes the panda will win and asks if Naofumi is here to bet or participate. The panda wins the match, and Naofumi buys the girl a drink. He inquires about the arena's rules. Meanwhile, another match begins between a demi-human named F and a noble named Yuji. The girl explains that participants can enter the arena alone or with a team of up to 3 members. The most popular matches to bet on are the 3-on-3 team battles, and there are no strict rules here. The match between Yuji and F appears to be fixed, and Yuji wins. The girl mentions that even such things are allowed in this arena, and leaves. Naofumi then instructs his party to prepare for underground fights. They'll use masks to hide their identities. He plans to use the money they earn from winning matches, their bets, and prize money to buy back the demi-humans from Lolona village who are up for auction. The scene switches to Naofumi and his team fighting against a group called the Topak family. They seem to be struggling. Philo asks Naofumi why they have to pretend to be weak, and Naofumi explains that by doing so, they can earn more money by betting on themselves if others see them as underdogs. Naofumi instructs Raffia to use illusion magic, making the Topak family believe they're in a tough battle. With the illusion in place, Naofumi's team defeats their opponents. They call themselves the Rock Valley and pretend to be exhausted, as if the fight was challenging. Naofumi then looks at the people in the arena, thinking they've successfully fooled them. This brings an end to our episode. Don't forget to check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.